All right, yes, it's working. Okay, here we go. It's the first ever Facebook Live Meet the Bands with I Don't Know How, But They Found Me, and they will answer most any question that you ask them. Obviously not personal, creepy, weird stuff, so don't do that. But anything about their music, about their show tonight that's over at the Complex. Tickets are still available. We've got Dallin Weeks right there. Hello. And Ryan Seaman. Hello. He's got blue hair, like the ocean, like semen. Like so we're going to get this started here pretty quick. Jess, I'm going to hand this over to you.
Okay.
Once we get this sharing and rolling, and we'll get this thing started.
Oh, yeah.
Like we do.
There you go.
And hopefully it's sharing on all the appropriate pages. If you have not yet found Meet the Bands in the past, you can find it on iTunes or on the Google Play Store, all the places where you would find podcasts. It is there. The last episode we did was Chris Caraba from Dashboard Confessional, also performing tonight, and you can hear him dote about I Don't Know How, But They Found Me in that episode. So that should be pretty cool. And now we're following it up with these guys. It's Dallin Weeks and also Ryan Seaman. It's I Don't Know How, But They Found Me. You ready, Jess?
Sure.
Let's get this thing rolling and started. All right, you guys, pull those things right to your face.
All right.
And we will get going.
Someone said it.
I'm going to pull this up so we can ask the questions as they come in. It'll be like Inception on my screen here. I'll have not only us, but also the interview going. Everyone enjoying themselves so far? Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
All right. All right, you guys, here we go. Coming down in 3, 2, 1. It's time for another edition of Meet the Bands, and it is the first ever live Meet the Bands live on Facebook. Follow X96 so you can see these in the future. As if this goes well, we will do it again.
I hope it goes well.
Yeah.
It was off to a rough start, but it was completely our fault, not your guys'. Dallin and Ryan.
Yes,
from
sir.
I Don't Know How, But They Found Me. We need to start there. Just huge fans of Back to the Future.
Yeah, that movie has definitely been my favorite for most of my life.
And are you originally the Back to the Future, the first one, or are we talking
Well, I
two
love
or
the trilogy.
Okay.
But, the first one, that's the one that built a special little place in my heart. And it's going to live there forever.
Any part in particular that's your favorite?
When George decks Biff. At
Yeah?
the end, you know?
You get the hand,
Yeah.
crinkling up, and then the wham,
Yeah,
spins
the
around.
feeling is not unlike when the Grinch's heart grows, 3 sizes too big,
I see, and I'm just moments before when George hits Biff as my favorite part. I think that there is something
the lead up
beautifully
to it.
awkward about them parking,
Uh-huh.
and then also in the original description of the, so you're going to be touching on her, and he's like, yes, George, and should I swear?
It's
Yeah,
just-
you bet.
It's a perfect movie, yeah. But that's where the band name comes from, is that scene where the Libyans find Doc Brown. And I've always loved that phrase, and I've always wanted to use it for something, whether it was a song or what. But when it came time to name this project that I've been doing, that's the first thing that came to mind. And
It's interesting to me. I remember as a young kid here in the state of Utah, and you guys are both from Utah. We'll get into that in a minute. I remember playing with my friends, and after having watched the movie, if someone would come around from the corner and surprise me, it would be like, I don't know how, but they found me. That kind of thing.
Marty!
Yeah. So you guys, this is a pretty new venture.
Yeah, we've done less than 20 shows. You can probably count them on 2 hands still.
Yeah, it's been almost a year
Yeah.
since we played our first.
But
very first
it's
show.
been kind of sporadic because we both have had jobs with other bands as we've been doing this. But we've been, we've found ourselves with more and more free time to work on this as of late.
So tell people just briefly, obviously this is the project you guys want to tell people about, but to give context to people, what are those other projects that you've been involved with previously?
Well, Ryan was playing with a band called Falling in Reverse for a long time. And for the last 8 years, I've been doing Panic at the Disco.
And then before that, though,
We were in a band called the Brobecks together for a minute. And that was based out of Salt Lake. And did that for about 6 or 7 years, I think. Ryan was in it with me for about a year, I think, right? Yeah.
So why not a reuniting of the Brobecks? Why I don't know how, but they
I
found
felt like doing something new. You know, I did the Brobecks for so long. It was it felt like time to put a punctuation of some kind on that, and just start with something that didn't have any rules or expectations behind it. You know, a little more creative freedom to just make something new.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Ryan, he comes to you and he says, "Let's do this," or did you go to him and be like, "Come on, let's go"?
I mean,
It's kind of both, really.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I asked Ryan, Dallin.
yeah, we've been friends forever, and like we've always loved jamming together. And you know, when you start a band with somebody, it's supposed to be fun.
Uh-huh.
You know, and we just wanted a creative outlet.
Yeah.
You know, when we weren't doing our jobs.
Mhm.
Right.
So
Yeah, I was making this record and needed someone to come play drums, and he was the obvious choice because I love the guy. So
Knew him, loved
as
him,
he
all
came
this
in
stuff.
to record drum parts, we got to talking about, you know, maybe doing some live shows, and I wanted to present it as a band and stuff. So it just it made sense, you know, timing wise, and I've known this guy for almost over 10 years. Yeah. So.
You know, it's interesting. I heard you in a different interview talk about how keeping the number in a band lower
Yeah.
increases the aptitude
Well, it
for
makes
success,
things,
perhaps, right?
It makes
it's less
things
personality.
easier.
makes things easier, but it's
Yeah.
also different. You know, when you think of bands, you might think of like 4 or 5 people.
Sure.
Technically,
But the more people you add, the more complex it
Yeah.
becomes, harder it becomes to do as far as like
Scheduling.
schedules. And
Sure.
Yeah.
And with you guys, and you're given schedules already with work outside of this, you
Yeah.
have to be able to get and go to it.
Mhm.
But I got to ask you this, though. So creatively, it puts a 50-50, you know, one against the other. There's not a tiebreaker. There's not or is it everyone's kind of on the same page?
I mean, I like to think because you know Dallin is the primary writer, and I
Uh-huh.
like to fulfill his vision with drums, and you know we bounce ideas back and forth, but you know
I'm not a
It's-
drummer.
yeah.
I'll
So he counts on me to fill in that.
yeah,
that
I
role,
fool around with
you
just
know?
about everything except for drums. So this guy's input is always really, welcome.
And we talk about that as if there was a whole album, and there's not a whole album yet, guys.
There kind of
Maybe
Is there?
Maybe there isn't.
Well, I know there's
Time will
2
tell.
songs out,
Yeah.
Modern Day Cain, and the other
There's-
one is Choke?
Choke.
Yeah.
And there's 2 songs out, and there are more in the chamber, but we're sort of trying to figure out what's the best route to release a full-length record.
Okay.
So
We're talking about like representation.
Yeah,
getting
we're
signed,
shopping
okay.
it around, and there's plenty of people who are looking at it, but no one's pulled the trigger yet. So it's going to be. We're taking our time. We don't want to rush it. We want to do it right. So.
You know that. So what that sort of reminds me of, and maybe you guys will appreciate this. Otherwise, this will be super weird.
Mhm.
Do you remember going back to movies of the '80s that formed my childhood? The Muppets Take Manhattan, where they've got the Broadway show and they want to pitch it to people, and so they go in, and for whatever reason, and maybe it's the blue hair, Rand, this sort of Muppety kind of thing where you guys like, we got a hit song, and it goes a little something like this. Look at me, here I am. They're like, no,
Yeah.
no. As you shop it around.
Yeah, exactly. So you're saying he's Gonzo?
Yeah.
Well, he's a whatever.
Yeah.
If I grow a beard, I'm like borderline Oscar the Grouch.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, now you're merging
It's not-
Sesame Street
Well, I
with.
mean, they're still kind of Muppets.
You're-
the
Sure,
same
no, they're all
creators,
dancing. I'll
yeah.
take it.
Yep.
When in the
They've done some collabs,
yeah.
but
It's true. Kermit comes to
Yeah,
Sesame Street.
sure.
That's fine.
Big
That's
Bird hangs out, with.
Yeah.
fine. There are lots of questions that are coming in.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
cool. I was
Um,
worried there would not be.
So
any.
let me.
Mainly everyone wants to know when
I
the
was
album's
worried
coming,
we
so.
just only get questions from my mom or something.
Yeah.
The album is coming when you think it's coming.
Let's see.
Ah.
Where
That's not
Ah.
even a little true.
No, not at all. That would throw everybody off. No, I think when it comes to releasing an album, we just want to have it to where it can be the most accessible. Is that the right word?
I mean, as we want to release it as largely as we
Yeah,
can,
that's what I
and
mean.
doing it
Yeah.
DIY style, there's limitations
Right.
that doing it that way.
We want everyone to know.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Do you like doing small shows, or would you like to do bigger shows? Says Regina.
I like both, but for different reasons. Large shows are just, they're insane, intimidating sometimes, but really exciting. Small shows are so intimate feeling; it almost feels like everybody's on the same level, everyone in the room
Yeah.
is sort of in the band with you, you know?
Yeah,
So-
I think it's actually, I think it's more nerve-wracking to play smaller shows because there's everybody there. They have their attention on you.
There's
You
nowhere
can
to
see
hide.
them, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you're playing for like crowds of like 50,000 people or 60,000 people, it just becomes a sea of like people's eyes. And,
Uh-huh.
It's
I think there's also less pressure because you know that there's so many people there,
Yeah.
so far
The
away
success
that
rate is
you're not
higher.
even exactly sure if that's you or not.
Right.
right.
Who's your favorite 80s artist?
Oh man,
Says
I don't know
Natasha.
I
She
don't know
wants
how
to
to pick one, but the short list would be like Tears for Fears, Oingo Boingo. I like a lot of. I mean, Elvis Costello had a lot of great stuff in the '80s, but he's, I guess, more late '70s stuff.
Mhm.
Who else? I don't know, that kind of stuff, like new wavy and dancey sort of stuff. I'm just a sucker for it.
Sam, we already answered your question. The name comes from Back to the Future.
Mhm.
What is the greatest influence that you guys can both agree on?
I don't know. We
Back to the
haven't,
Future.
like music-wise.
Yeah,
I don't really
music-wise.
know. We listen to really different.
Yeah,
stuff.
we do. But I think that's what helps. Like everything,
For
create
me,
its
when
own
I was
sound.
making the record, I was listening to a lot of like T-Rex and Joe Jackson, Elvis Costello, and I said Oingo Boingo earlier.
Mhm.
That sort of stuff really influenced the things that I was writing.
Will you guys play Please Don't Jump live? Someone wants to know.
No, that's a Christmas song. We aren't playing that one, but we are playing a Christmas song.
Okay, so people will be able to see a
Yeah.
Christmas song tonight.
And we just rehearsed it like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
A couple times and
We
played
played it
for the
last
first
night
time.
and we went okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try it again.
Will there be more music videos in the future?
Yeah, definitely.
I think so.
Yeah.
That from Watermelon Lane.
There's nothing on schedule yet, but we want to change that
Right.
very soon.
How many I Don't Know How But They Found Me songs have we not heard yet?
That depends. If you have YouTube and have gone
Yeah.
down the whole
If
the rabbit
you have
hole of
YouTube,
what
you've
we
heard
are.
all but like maybe 2 or 3 of them
Yeah.
that are recorded anyway.
Right.
There's more that haven't been recorded.
Lou wants you guys to get in a fight over the question of George Harrison or Eric Clapton.
George Harrison.
George Harrison.
Okay, no
For
fight.
sure.
Yeah.
Dream tour mates? As you guys go out and tour, is there a dream
Man,
tour mate?
Not really. I mean, we'll tour with anybody. We don't want to be like snobby about who we play with, you know. So it would.
I mean, it's not like a band I'd like to go out with. I know this is like far-fetched, but like something like Muse.
Yeah.
Something like the Killers.
You know, it's only
Yeah.
far-fetched if you don't
For me,
believe in
I
it,
don't know.
Ryan.
I mean,
Only if you don't believe in it, because
Right.
you throw it in the universe.
Yeah.
yeah.
Stuff like that can happen. Do you guys have any pre-show rituals that you do before you go out and perform?
I need to get a good stretch in.
Really?
I'm,
Like
I'm
it's
getting older, you know, and you don't want to pull a hammy. I hurt my neck last night.
really?
Yeah.
So what does it look like? Does it like I do the legs first and then the arm and up and over?
It's it borderlines on jazzercise, you know. Like I gotta stretch everything out, and the older I get, the longer I have to do it before we play.
So we should get some, I don't know how, but they found me. The leg warmers, like
Yeah.
from that first episode of Back to the Future, right?
Yeah.
When he goes in, I'm telling you, in the place that used to be the diner but is now the aerobics
Cafe
place.
80s,
Yeah, the
yeah,
cafe. I'm in.
hmm
My pre-show ritual is mostly getting stressed out, hoping that when I go on stage, everything is right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a weird moment before you begin, like
Yeah.
you just want to get out there and get
Right.
it started.
I'm
That's-
not
that's
worried
always
about the
last-
people. I'm just worried about, is it going to work?
Yeah.
Is everything going to work when we first
Is
hit
all
that
of our
first
equipment
note?
gonna work?
Right. That's the pre-show ritual. That's
Yeah.
what it's always been like, though.
Are you
Not
the
for
one that
the-
stresses more than down?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I have a lot more. Well, actually, no, that's debatable. Actually, because
I don't know.
you have a bunch of pedals on stage. You have a
Mhm.
bunch of toys that you get to play with. And
Yeah.
if those aren't all chained together, then there might be problems.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, we worry about technical stuff because
Yeah.
we don't really have like professional techs or anything. We have friends and stuff that help out. and
Sure.
they're learning as we go,
Which is
Like,
great.
and they do a great job.
Call it the IDK intern program.
Yeah.
And
You can
Yeah.
hook them up on Instagram if
Yep.
you're
Yeah,
interested
for
and
sure.
have any sort of technical knowledge. Brooklyn wants to know, where do you get the inspiration for the phrases that you yell at the end of Modern Day Kane?
Oh yeah, it's different every night because we try not to do the exact same show every single night.
Uh-huh.
We try to improv a little bit, and there's a moment at the end of Modern Day Kane where I always want to say something different, but I never plan it out ahead of time. It's
Really?
just, yeah.
Just whatever flows to top of mind?
Whatever comes to the top of my head, but when the moment comes.
It makes me laugh because I don't know what's going on. Like I'll be
I
like,
try not to
okay,
think
well,
about it.
yeah. Or something might have happened earlier in the day that's like funny.
Yeah,
or-
like yesterday's show, in the middle of it, I opened a bottle of water and it had this weird cap. It wasn't a twisty. It was a pop.
Yeah, it was something
Okay.
I haven't even like seen before. It looked kind of like this, but it had like a
So
like
popped
a
the
cap
top
on it.
and it just exploded all
Oh.
over me, like in front of everybody. So I looked really cool.
Yeah.
You know.
No, it's not my first water bottle,
Yeah,
everyone,
exactly.
I swear.
And then at the end of that show, when the moment came, I said, "What did I say? When opening water bottles, always be sure to exercise precaution," or something
Yeah.
stupid like that. But, that's where it came from. So it's always something different.
People want to know about what's Choke all about. What's the inspirations and where's that coming from?
Choke is sort of a goodbye to LA letter for me. I lived there for 8 years, and I love LA a lot, but it's not home for me.
Mhm.
And there's a culture that exists there in the entertainment business that I just had a difficult time with. The kind of culture.
Is it phony? Is that what it is?
Yeah. The me culture,
Okay.
you know, where people would step over you to get $1 or more fame or something like that. It doesn't sit well with me. I don't really like it, but that's what Choke is about. Sort of me, you know, exercising those demons and just saying goodbye to it. So.
I love it. A lot of people here, as we're doing this on Facebook Live, and that's where we were getting these questions from. It's, when are you coming to Australia? When are you coming to the United Kingdom?
Yes.
For people that listen to you guys and want to help out, what's the best thing that they can do to help you guys as you're looking to get signed? Can we do anything?
I
Keep listening to us.
Yeah, you
That's
guys
it.
are doing it already.
Yeah.
Like the reaction to what we've put out so far has been insane, more than what we ever expected to. So keep listening and.
Yeah, and if you have like you know, like as an example, if you have like a Spotify playlist, you can share that with your friends.
It's so weird, but like numbers matter, you know.
Right.
I
mean, you don't want it to, right? Like
Right.
you want it
No,
to be
not
like,
really.
no, it's the
It's
art,
about
it's the
discovery.
inspiration.
It's
But
like
really,
dimension,
it's
but-
like, well, listen, that's a
what I
million
grew up
spins. So
with. That's what
yeah.
I grew up with. It's only the art and the music that matters, and you know that's still number one for me. But
Mhm.
when it comes, unfortunately,
But people need
the
to hear
music
it.
business is a business, and the people who you know light the green lights for you, they don't care about how good your music is. They care about your numbers
Yeah.
and your figures and stuff. So.
A couple of people want to know if you will ever dye your hair, Dylan. So you guys can either
No.
have matching hair or complementary hair.
I used to as a younger man. I used to dye it black and be gothic and stuff.
See, yin and yang. You
Yeah.
know? So like tonight he's gonna go home.
But I think maybe like when the gray hairs take over enough, I'll just bleach it white and go full David Byrne,
Yeah.
with it.
Okay. Now Ryan was starting to talk about it. You're a family man, wife, kids.
Yeah.
Ryan, are you?
I
what's
have
your
a
story?
girlfriend and a puppy.
Okay.
And
So that's like a
I'm
child.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I've never owned a dog before.
Yeah.
I was always a cat person. But yeah, I mean, I like to go and have my fair share of fun
Yeah.
at night with some friends. Like go
Right.
have some drinks, go out in town,
Yeah.
And Down likes to do that.
I
kind
like
of
to
stuff
nap.
some- Yeah, he likes to do that some stuff.
Dylan's got a
but-
lawn to mow, and
Yeah.
they're picking out swatches for the family
But
room.
it's great. It works out though.
I enjoy folding laundry and napping.
Folding clothes.
Let's see. Do you think this is from a walking existential crisis? Do you think
Nice.
that I Don't Know How is starting off more popular than the Brobecks?
Yeah.
Not a chance.
No.
I'd say yeah. The Brobecks was a long uphill climb, and I think the biggest thing that ever happened to the Brobecks was getting a job with Panic at the Disco. That's sort of what opened that door and introduced a larger audience to that band.
This question from Kayla for you, Ryan. Do you feel like it was an upgrade going from Falling in Reverse to I Don't Know How, But They Found Me?
I don't want to poo-poo the fact that I was in, Falling in Reverse. I'm very grateful for everything that they, provided. I guess you could say that.
Right,
that's what
but who you
provided.
are now is obviously because
Yeah,
of that.
I mean, I feel like everything that we, Down has done and I've done before, before you depend, before I define it, it's like everything we've done has gotten ourselves to that level, and it's just like, I know Falling Reverse gave me a platform to do, things in the future. Everybody in that band that's no longer there anymore also had that same platform, Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of members coming in and out, and I just want to say I'm really grateful for it. But I feel like I'm a much happier person, playing with Dallin,
Mm-hmm.
and I get artistic freedom, and it's great, and I think everybody's happier, and that's the goal at the end of the day, is to be happy,
For a lot of these people who are kind of coming in, it looks as though they are kind of coming in a little bit late. So encourage you, and we'll post this so you can get some answers to some of your questions. Why did you decide to start the band, etc.? Where does the name come from? What inspired your do-it-yourself approach?
That was born out of necessity.
Yeah.
Because I've been in the music industry for a long time, but not really a part of the music industry. Like, there's not really been anyone, championing my ideas or anything. So I came to the realization that if I was going to have songs get made, I had to do it myself.
Right.
If, there's that old saying, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. But that's true in the music business, too. I mean, you just got to work. Don't wait around for people to come knock on your door and say, what do you have? You just got to get busy and make it and get it out there, and hopefully people like it.
Yeah, give it to them and then tell them why they like it. Well,
Yeah.
the reason why you
Yeah.
like that is, let me tell you what that is. Some people wanting to know about Panic, and we can talk about that some other time, because you guys are here to talk about I don't know how, but they found me. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you guys are like, you should know this about this band?
Well, you should come to the show tonight.
Yeah.
There's one thing that, I don't know, that has been pretty fun to do, the opening band song.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wrote a little song. We had a show at the Viper Room once, and we were supposed
You
to
wrote it on
opening
your way
the show.
there.
I wrote it on the way there. By the time we had gotten to the Viper Room, they switched us to being the headliner, I guess, because of
really?
ticket sales. But I still sang the song, and it's a really fun thing to do. It always goes over really well when we are the opening band.
Okay.
When we're not so much, but
Right.
But it's about how much it sucks to be the opening band and nobody likes you because no one came to see you.
Yeah.
It's a very smart Alex song, but it's fun to do.
But pretty catchy.
I mean, I hope so.
Well,
I like it.
I want to go check it out. I'm going down the rabbit hole now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember him getting into the club, and he's like, "Hey, so I got this song we're gonna do tonight. I just need you to go like this." And then eventually
it's
like
an
evolved.
acapella thing, but
Okay.
it's fun.
But it's
fun.
like we did the song before he went off and recorded, because there's no drums on it. It's just like some tambourines and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just crazy to just even hear it for the first time, sitting behind the kit, and I'm like, I think I'm supposed to be
Yeah.
hitting this tambourine
Is
here.
this it? There we go.
It was fun to try it. And that's the kind of stuff I love doing, And he writes a song on the way to the Viper Room.
Yeah.
Who can say they performed the song that they just wrote in their head? To
You guys.
people, and then people even laughed at some of the lyrics, in a
it's
good
kind
way.
of it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Tongue in cheek.
But we like to have a good time.
Nicole points out that Choke is almost at 1 million views on YouTube.
Yeah, it's
Congratulations.
Sound's about to lose a bet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
What was the bet there?
Not with me, but
It was a casual, and for the record, I didn't actually mean it, but
Now, can
I
we
think
get
it's
the story, or
hilarious.
is this going to embarrass?
there's not much to it.
Okay.
It's just, we were just betting on when it would hit 1 million views.
yeah,
Okay.
cool, yeah.
And I had a date that
My
was
date.
closer to the end of the month. And
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna land on my date because it's getting pretty close. So I think.
So
I'm
is
gonna
it
lose.
it's a gentleman's bet, and what do you
Yeah.
have to do now?
That is $100 bet.
Really?
So
It's more than a
Ah,
gentleman's
maybe.
bet for
Gonna
me.
Yeah, I was
lose.
gonna say that's
Yeah.
more than I can afford.
Yeah. Come to Portugal.
okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, done.
Cool.
And then someone asks, and maybe we leave it on a couple of these, is your video for Modern Day Kane inspired by the video for No Shows by Gerard Way?
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
I think
that.
I've heard it because there's a similar his video looks like it's older, like the way that ours does. But that video was inspired by this old cable access show called Stairway to Stardom.
Okay.
when I was making the record, I fell into this weird YouTube hole. It was like an old talent show, cable access talent show that was on in New York in like the early 80s. And it was this weird parade of people who were all just so sure that they had what it takes to be a star. And they would go on this show and they were all just terrible.
You can get lost in the stuff on YouTube for like a couple hours.
It was amazing, and I fell in love with it, and I was like, I want to be on this show so bad. But that was impossible because it was from 1982, 1983. So the only way for me to be on the show was to recreate it, and that's what the music video is. So.
That's awesome. Farah, or Farah, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, apparently saw some shows in the summertime.
Cool.
Saw the show last night, and she says it's amazing the growth that you guys have just in the time from the summer show to the show last night.
Well,
so,
thank you very much.
I think we end it there. Thank you guys for taking a few minutes. Again, if you're checking this out on Facebook Live right now, you can continue to post questions. Maybe these guys will drop in and they can answer
Sure.
some. But you can go see them live tonight at the Complex, complexslc.com, Gray Whale, or Smith-Tix outlets for tickets. It's Dallin Weeks and Ryan Seaman, which we never got to being teased in middle and high school. But you know what? Make your own jokes there.
Never happened.
We make up for it now.
Hey, guess what? Seaman for Weeks.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
That was the original band.
Really?
Yeah. No.
Seaman.
Darn it! It could be a Warped Tour band
Yeah,
for
there you
sure.
go.
Seaman for Weeks.
Check these guys out in all the usual places: Spotify,
Yeah.
YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
iTunes.
YouTube.
Other various internets.
So you can
We're
catch,
out there.
You can catch it all there. All right, thank you guys.
What are your
for
social? What are your social media handles?
The band Instagram is at iDKHOW. We don't have a Twitter yet, but the Facebook one is the same, iDKHOW.
So people can check it out and
Yeah.
follow
Yeah.
you guys there.
See
Give
you
love,
on weird posts.
watch views, share
Yeah.
music with your friends. That's the way you can get them to come to Portugal and Iowa and Australia.
Exactly.
That'd be a tour.
And
Don't give up
Zimbabwe.
on us. We want it to
And-
happen someday. So,
All right, thanks you guys.
thank you.
Yay!
Yay. Have you seen